Hey guys, it's Spiffyguy and I'm back here with another video. And in this video we are going to be making some gear. We're going to make an alcohol stove. Alcohol stoves are super cheap, they're lightweight and fairly fuel efficient. And they're a great way to boil some water up in the backcountry. And they easily fit into your cook kit. So let's get started on this. But before we do that, let's just give the big disclaimer. We will be working with power tools and sharp metal and cats, so be very careful with what you do. Don't want to lose any digits. So as the title suggests, this alcohol stove is the Fancy Feast. It is called that because it is based on a Fancy Feast cat food can. That is the 3.5 ounce can. It's the same can that we use in the Super Cat. You can see kind of some similarities. The problem is I don't like the taste of cat food. So I needed to find a different can because after making the Super Cat, I really had lost my taste for the cat food. So this particular can is from Hummus, but you can also use a buffalo style chicken salad type can. And this can as well is a seasoned tuna, quite tasty, lemon and pepper. All right, this is a 3 ounce can. This is a 2.9. And you find these cans in these little kind of food kits. They come with the can of whatever meat here and some crackers. Of course, the crackers are going to be all crushed when you get them. And they also come with this spoon, which if you whip this spoon out at a campfire, you will be the envy of every ultralighter in the field. All right, so another can we're going to need is a tomato paste can. This is a 6 ounce can. Essentially, as you can see from here, this can is going to go in there. So pretty much you want a can that's going to fit that can with just a little bit of gap around there. Now just a word on the gap here. They have this rim. On the Fancy Feast cans, it's really easy to just push this down with a pair of pliers. On some of these tuna cans, the edge is a little bit more, I wouldn't say safety conscious. They have a little bit of bead on there, so you can't cut yourself. So you might need to snip that into segments and push it down with a pair of pliers afterwards. Your mileage will vary depending upon what can you're going to use. The other item that we're going to need for our stove is some carbon felt. This is going to wrap around our tomato paste can in there and act as a wick for the alcohol. The way that this stove works is you pour alcohol in here, it wicks up around on your carbon felt, and the flame comes off the carbon felt. So obviously use a material here that's not going to burn. That's the idea behind it, because that way if it tips over, the alcohol doesn't come out like it would on a Super Cat. It's in the wick. So what is this carbon felt magic that you talk about? Well, this is what I'm using. This is an Oatly flame protector. As you can see, it protects flame. So this is something that welders will put up on the wall. You find this in the welding supply. It's kind of expensive at like 12 to 15 bucks depending upon where you go, and it comes in a wonderful little 9 by 12 area. I am going to be using 1.5 inches. That is the height of my can. Okay, you want something that's basically going to wrap around and you're just going to stuff it in there. So the first thing you want to do is take your tomato paste can and eat the tomato paste. Once you wash it out, take the open side and shove it in there. Okay, measure up 1 inch and cut it off. Okay, doesn't have to be super fancy because that cut piece is going to go on the bottom. That way we have a nice smooth edge at the top not to cut our fingers off, and that's where our pot is going to sit. So let me cut this off and hopefully I'll come back with all 10 of these. Alright, so once you've got your can cut, once again, it doesn't matter what that cut looks like as long as it's nice and level, and you can set a pot on it. Once you put your pot on there, you want to make sure that it doesn't wobble around a whole lot. So at the bottom, you want to cut a little notch. Going to notch in on either side to let the alcohol flow out to the wick, and then cut a hole in the top up here. That's to keep it so once you put the pot on there, it doesn't pressurize the stove. You need to relieve the pressure. Any size hole will really do. I recommend using a step bit. Makes the hole a little bit cleaner. I crimped down the edge right here, as you can see. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to just take my felt, I'm just going to wrap it around here, nice and level at the bottom as best I can, and if you overlap it, that's all right. And I'm just going to shove it in here. You may need to get a little persuasion, like a screwdriver, kind of get it down in there. This can is a little bit wider than the last one, so it seems to slide in there fairly well. And now you can see that that can is fairly solid in there. Now I'll come back here and I'll just take a screwdriver and I'll push that down real quick. Alright guys, so there we go, finished product. That's it. Super easy to do. I recommend taking an ounce of alcohol and burn through outside before you use this. Sometimes there's a coating on the inside of these cans, and that way if you run an ounce of alcohol through it, it'll clean all that stuff up. Let's talk about alcohol real quick. One of the things I like to do is I carry one of these with me. This is a nice little measuring on it. I can measure out, 30 milliliters, 1 ounce, half ounce, whatever I need to measure out. These are super light, only a few grams, and you can get them at any drugstore. They're used for drinking cough syrup and that sort of thing. It fits in there. You can stick your matches and a lighter in there, and everything's all nice and compact. Typically, I will carry my alcohol in a little 4-ounce bottle, or sometimes I'll carry a 12-ounce bottle, like a water bottle. Make sure to mark it. Put big X's on there, draw a little skeleton on it, something like that, to remind you that it is alcohol and not water. You don't want to drink this stuff, it'll kill you. I typically use this SLX brand denatured alcohol. It's by Clean Strip. You can get this at Walmart. You can get it at Home Depot, that sort of thing. You find it in the paint department. You can also use heat, which is a fuel additive. You'll find that in the automotive section. Use the yellow can or the yellow bottle, not the red. The red is ISO something or other. I think it's isopropyl. Can't even say it. Anyway, yellow good, red bad. There you go. That's about it. If you have any questions or comments, go ahead and stick them below. You can buy this commercially. I'll say that real quick. I believe it is Zelf, Z-E-L-P-H stoves, something like that. You can do a Google search, and he sells commercial varieties of this as well as 101 other alcohol stoves. This may not be as efficient as the Super Cat versus the Trangia versus the whatever, but it's a simple and fun one to build, and you get cat food and tomato paste out of it. So there you go. It's healthy and it cooks your meal. So there you go. Just remember, life's an adventure, and go out and have one with your brand new Fancy Feast alcohol stove.